with the opening. What a wow! All puns intended, yes! Welcome, brothers and sisters, saints and sinners, to another episode of Frayko, the weekly show wrapping up of the shenanigans and good deeds in Esken. I'm your host, your favorite Rasta, Sister Nikolae of Nikki's Hair Salon. Earlier clock, we whining me asses talking about carnival, eh? And when they say you should be here, they're really making you feel like you should be here. Sugar Mass 51 kick off with a bazooka because that wasn't just a bang. So Friday afternoon, the streets of Basseterre were lit up. You would swear it's parade there with the procession up to Wonderland, the themed carnival village for Sugar Mass. Big scissors and think they had someone to cut the ribbon, boy. Some money spending for the Sugar Mass this year, tell you. We really outside. Social media light up with good sentiments and congratulations for Robertine Webb, the same one who they was saying and arguing about she too young to be creative director. Shannon Harley, the government and others who are a part of the grandiose production. People really looking forward to the talented teen, eh? So much so, the show don't sell off. If you want to go, you better hope somebody sell the ticket. And to how them girls set the stage ablaze, nobody gonna want to sell theirs. Well, sir, people in the comments vex now. So, now, we touch the road. And it's a load of song we got to jam to it. It's whole 18 songs vying for the road march title and 20 grand. We got Brother White with Sweet Jamming School, Barry C, Colors, Upset Squad with Big Belly Man, The Cowbell and Home on the Street, Grandmasters, We Outside Again and Bubble It, Collision Band, Ramping, Small Axe Band with Kick Them Off the Wall, No More Whiskey, New Vibes Band with Natural Disaster, Sneaky Link and One Thing, Fantastic Thunder with Drinks and Music, Prince Ayo Brown, Let Loose, Mr. Bagnall, Jim Jam, Showtime Band, Link Up in the Street, and JTS Entertainment with Ever Ready. Boy, the man them coming hard, they coming heavy this year. We just want to wine we ass for Sugar Mass. Frayko, what you say? All right. He ready for Juve and last lap. Over the weekend, we had the first event for one of the major shows, the Eliminations for Soca Monarch. Are you? Come the 21st, you're going to be ding-dang back on the levy because the caliber songs, you look at me walk here. In the groovy segment are Tubap, Molly Media, and T-Bone, K.O., Mr. Hype, Mr. Bagnall, Jeezy Sparta, and Blade. And the challengers for Mr. Hype in power are Stadix, T-Bone, Mr. Bagnall, Genesis, Molly Media, Blade, and Ketidan. There were quite a few contenders and new people too, eh? Rokodan, the reigning Mr. GQ for Culturama this year. Nakita and Simply and Caliber. While Soca Eliminations going on, Carnival hosted Soca and Calypso workshops. We'll have another cohort of judges soon. They were facilitated by Nubia Williams from TNT. We also had the last bit of Ultra Carnival's costumes. They launched the men's sections of Deo de los Muertos, the Day of the Dead, in their Festival of the World theme. Y'all remember the first time MUA competition? Verlene, we don't know her surname, won both the avant-garde category with colorful fantasy and folklore and fusion with Celebrate as one for Sugar Mass 51. There were splendid works of art. Look out for upcoming carnival events this week, usually in the spirit of Christmas till Thursday. Then, the weekend is Calypso weekend, starting with a junior Calypsonian competition on Friday at 7. Saturday and Sunday are elimination nights for senior Calypsonians. Saturday too is Juve warm-up Bacchanal Road. If you like this video so far, a sub to the channel would be splendorously colorful. Like this back piece from DFX. Moving on to Nevis and the nice votes. People on the Electoral Commission resigned a few days before nominations. Imagine that. So, Joe and Mark done sort it out, nominating Lawyer Van Henderson and retired Assistant Commissioner of Police Joseph Liebert. Yep, the same Joseph Liebert who was removed before the general elections. Hey! Well, sir. So, CCM and NRP are continuing rallies in different communities. It's chill as Nevis elections usually are. General elections is where the Frayko does come out. If you hear them talk, especially CCM, you would think that they ain't the government for all of Nevis. The politicians always have this rhetoric of saying to constituents of an area they lost that they could get better treatment if they elect them whomever. So, is that they are punished for not electing your desired candidate? Don't the people of that area pay taxes, utilize health services and so? It's unbelievable that in 2022 we still saying this shit. NRP ain't get right there. Hear Dr. Bartlett saying that Mark live Brown Hill and ain't studying the area. So wait, Brown Hill supposed to get an extra special angio treatment? This isn't to say that if roads are the worst in Brown Hill, they shouldn't be fixed. But to imply that because Mark is the premier, the area is supposed to look the best is crazy. We swear this narrative of us versus them and punishing constituencies is tiring, buddy. Just take care of the place. That's what you were elected to do. The person is simply premier because they are the leader of the party. Constituencies do not vote for premier. NRP plans include improving the processing facilities and exporting mango, soursop, and the like. Having a government daycare and a school bus service. Imagine that, 39 years and Nevis still ain't got this. CCM say they're going to do daycare too and improve water storage facilities. We can't let this team blow past the geothermal controversy that surfaced this week. It's been close to 10 years, if not more, that powering Nevis with heat sources was promised. This week, it was revealed that a well had to be capped because it wasn't drilled to industry standard.
With the wells, we're gonna, from what I understand from the literature regarding that well, there may have been some issues with it. I won't speak to the specifics. I have some experts online who can speak better. But that well was not, as far as I know, drilled according to best practice or best standard. So, in fact, so what we're going to be doing is going to be much different. It's going to be according to international best practices, and we're going to make sure we have suitably qualified contractors. Somebody raised a question about those. Those were what we call slim wells, smaller wells, which were mainly used to test the resource. The ones we're going to do now are bigger wells, which will be used to provide the energy to drive the power plant. So we're going for the real thing this time.
Just thinking about the millions invested in this, that hot in Frayko head. He gonna need to go hospital, go get a scan in the new CT scan machine in the unfurnished expansion wing. Ayo, whole ayo noses. Peeps, peeps, peeps. Frayko can't take the stench of the high school bathroom them. Lord Jesus! A teacher say it's only 1.5 bathroom at Washington Archibald High School for 80 plus women, and teachers are very upset. Added to that, water pressure too low to flush the toilet, so they got to catch water in the bucket and thing. Of course, you're gonna have nasty people, so you're gonna flush the toilet neither. Lord, Frayko, so shame. Some weeks ago, Jeffrey did a tour of Washi, and they complained about the deplorable bathroom conditions. He said he gonna fix it. So we waiting, buddy. Coming through with a little air freshener now. This week, the COP27 delegation hosted a press conference to update the country on what really happened in Egypt and what it means for the general public. It was a good summary, and honestly, The government scored some points there when Jael answered a question at the press conference that was at the last PM press conference. That hasn't been done, so it seems like they're listening and noting stuff. Nothing is worse than not getting the answer to a question because a minister ain't there. So what happened? Only them that's got the info? Isn't there continuity? A big thing at COP27 was the agreement to establish a loss and damage fund. Let's get it from Jael.
Simply put, richer countries have accepted, have acknowledged, and have committed to supporting SIDS, small island developing states, and island states, island nations, or poorer countries in addressing issues, developmental issues as a result of climate change. But it was up until Saturday night, very late, that we finally had some movement on establishing the fund, having official negotiations in terms of how the fund would operate, and a timeline in terms of when we would come back to COP28 with further details on the fund. So we weren't very pleased as a region that it took us into the late hours of a 2-week conference to have that established. But what we do recognize is that there's a lot at play when it comes to, as Foreign Minister mentioned, climate responsiveness and climate reparations.
Keeping with travel/governmentish news, PM Drew went to Dubai this week, missing the 25 remarkable teens. More on that later, and Carnival opening. While there, they had an exclusive cocktail event unveiling the evolution of SKN's CBI program. He traveled with A.J. Wilkinson, Tourism Minister Marsha Henderson, Cabinet Secretary Marcus Nutter, and Vera Galloway and Sylvester Anthony, whose positions weren't named. We'll see what the evolution is. Now, saying it's Nevis on the Middle Eastern stage, eh? Here comes some Times Caribbean highlighting this. They're going to say that the PM gone, leave the remarkable teens and people without water to be over there, and talking about Uncle Dougie ain't part of the Dubai crew. We get the need to try to remain relevant, but not somebody. Anyways, still with the PM, before he left for Dubai, he visited the Basseterre Health Center and said that digital and infrastructure upgrades will be done. Keeping with health, the man who lied and said NEOC working for free, Dr. Cameron Wilkinson, has prescribed himself retirement. He wrote a letter saying that he started working in the 90s and was shocked at the equipment he made back then, having done his residency at a hospital in New York. He eventually became the chief of staff at JNF Hospital, but many nurses and doctors difficulty working with him. Earlier this year, we seen the post of the one who said he cancelled her operations one morning and didn't inform her. It might have all been election gimmicks because nothing ever come of the action that was to be taken by the doctor. But he's worked on many gunshot victims. In fact, he said that was the situation on the first day on the job. He said he'll be working off island but will give his expertise if invited. The country thanks him for his service. In SKN goodies, this week was the annual celebration of the 25 of the country's most remarkable teens. They were awarded for youth activism, personal decision to change, spirit of hope, entrepreneurship, leadership, academics, sports, courage to overcome, volunteerism, most promising, and performing arts.
The 2022 class of the 25 most remarkable teens in St. Kitts and Nevis are Dominic Williams, Sienna Henville, and Maija Lake for youth activism, Malik Queely and Quinaika Bradshaw for a personal decision to change, Darren Thomas for scholar athlete and leadership, Denidra Evelyn and Tanaiki Davis for courage to overcome. Jazara Claxton and Shamari Roberts were awarded for sport. Awards for scholar athletes were presented to Kaylee L. Ward, Jamad Huggins, and Niran Ward. The award in academics was presented to Brianna Brown, while academics and spiritual commitment was presented to Malika Benjamin. Additional awards went to Devontae Brown and Brianna Paul for leadership and volunteerism, Tatiana Leader for entrepreneurship, Zara Brown for entrepreneurship and music, Laquandre Laurie for leadership and sports, Shekim Forbes for volunteerism, Omarion Bartlett for most promising, Donnell Francis for Spirit of Hope, while Siondre Fleming and Malachi Tucker Gums were recognized for excellence in performing arts.
While things might be rough, there's one busman, Arthur Gaskin, driver of Patriotz, who is giving back. Our high school pal made a Facebook post saying that until the first week in January, every full trip that he has, one person gets a free ride. It might not sound like a lot, but to some people, just having bus fee is difficult. Big up yourself, Arthur. You do things. Outside Esken, we had Marcus Rashford, who is playing really well in the World Cup for Team England, scoring the 100th goal in World Cup for the team. Why even talk about he? Because the boss got roots here and he makes donations here. A couple years ago, maybe around the start of the pandemic or just before, he donated a ton of stuff to the children's home. He regularly talks about Esken and having roots here and so on. We're giving him a round of applause. Still in sports, there was the 9th annual 1.9 mile open water peninsula swim on Sunday by the St. Kitts Yacht Club. There were 15 children swimming and took top spots in their categories. And there was a 6-year-old swimmer. Yeah. Still outside, guess who has new diplomats? Yep, good old Esken. We have Hadiya Claxton and Calvin St. Just, who were appointed as Special Envoy for Investment of the Federation of St. Kitts and Nevis. Not exactly sure what I mean, where they're stationed, but they're both very decorated individuals. Hadiya has a Doctor of Law degree from Harvard Law School, and she is the Chief Legal Officer and Global General Counsel of McLeheny Company, Tabasco Run. Calvin, on the other hand, was the Chief Operating Officer and Head of Global Strategy for Morgan Stanley Wealth Management, Financial Wellness in New York. He was a Master of Science degree in Global Innovation Management, plus others. They're supposed to advise the government on stuff like expanding moneymakers and getting new ones. Now, brothers and sisters, saints and sinners, this is the second to last episode, the one just before the season finale. So, season's greetings and happy new holidays. Hey! Don't forget to subscribe. Tell us in the comments what shows Frayko should go to, and when we get him back under control from all the jamming, we'll be back in the new year. But, of course, rewatch episodes, leave a like, share and comment. Thank you for rocking with us. Until next time, I'm your host, your favorite Rasta, Sister Nikolae, and I thank you. Check out our other videos and taboo talk here and here.